Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to MotorMaster Monday, live from Iowa Speedway. It is round 16 of the 2021 NASCAR MotorMaster Series season, hosted right here on NASCAR Heat 522. NASCAR MotorMaster Series drivers working their way around this racetrack in these Xfinity cars on the presets. It's a 50% distance race, 125 laps, and on the pole is the 2020 NASCAR Platinum Cup Series champion, Matt Smith, in the number 10 car for Brev Motorsports. He's being chased by Josh Cole-Diaz in the 7 and Jason Doro in the 08. I'm NASCAR CEO Tyler McMurder alongside NASCAR MotorMaster Series driver Jesse Carlson, and we're bringing you live flag-to-flag coverage of the Supersonic 200 here at Iowa Speedway. Strap yourselves in and enjoy the show. Jesse, thanks a bunch for joining me in the broadcast booth.
No problem.
Got a good... Thank you for being here. We're watching good battles all over this racetrack. The best one closest to the leader is for second here. Jason Doro in the 08 has worked his way around Josh Cole-Diaz. He just used the outside line to do that. But a little bit deeper in the field, this is what the battle for sixth on back looks like. They're three wide and bouncing off each other a little bit. Land Shark in the 36, the 44 of Trey Hollywood, the 11 of Dustin Franklin. They're all right there, along with Jordan Roughton in the 92, Cameron Norton in the 1. Top 5 in these stages get the points, and these drivers are looking to get out of this hornet's nest if they can and maybe run down the top 5. The top 5 have kind of separated themselves from the rest of the field. Matt Smith has a comfortable lead on his own. And then the duo of Jason Doro, Josh Cole-Diaz running in second and third. That's what the margin from first to second and third looks like. There you see them. And there you see Clashin in the 07 just took the 4th position away from Jordan Dorosek. Those two are good buddies. They race in a couple of leagues outside of NASCAR. JCR guys right there running 4th and 5th. It almost looked like Clashin maybe let his buddy Jordan go by for the 4th position. They're swapping that position back and forth a little bit, and we're working stage 1 here at Iowa Speedway. What do you think we're going to see in this race, Jesse?
I don't know. It'll be interesting. It's a short, wide track, just like Richmond. And wide and speedy. Everyone's moving together and keep themselves from crashing.
It reminds me a lot of Richmond, as very similar characteristics, and I was saying that to a lot of these drivers before we took the green flag here today. And it's just, the banking is similar, the speeds through the corners are similar, and the track just feels the same. You kind of just wait to get back to the throttle carefully, especially coming out of 4. You can get it onto the throttle a little sooner coming out of 4. It's because of the straightaway arcing out more in a D shape, sort of. And just a fun track to race. You can run many different grooves here. We've seen 3 and 4 wide action before in NASCAR races in the past at Iowa Speedway. We expected no less for tonight's race. Here's a good battle. Bradley Gilliland in the 90, Alex Tesdall in the 16, Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in the 61, Jason Armstrong in the 12, and I believe that is Dustin McClintock in the 0. Here's Bradley coming off a second place finish in the NASCAR Truck Series race at the Indy Roval last week. That would have been on Tuesday, and strong run for him there, and he needed that. Drives the number 38 Ford on Tuesdays and drives the number 90 Camaro here on Mondays for MotorMaster Monday. So it's Land Shark here running in the 6th position in the number 36 car. Just behind him is Trey Hollywood running in the 7th position. Let me see if we can find him here. There you see him in the 44. Dustin Franklin runs in 8th. Jordan Roughton running in 9th. Harold Burden in the 39 rounding out the top 10. And just behind them looks as if the 9 car of Sean Lucas running at 11. Cameron Norton in the 1 running in 12th. And the awesome thing here about these NASCAR races is a lot of these drivers have been racing here for years, and they've been racing each other for longer than that, or just as long. Ever since they've been starting, we've become a very a nice group here, a racing family, if you will, and everyone kind of knows each other and helps each other here and there. Good battles all over the racetrack. Sean Lucas in the 9 car takes over the 10th position from Harold Burden, and it's been a long time since we've seen Sean, so it's great to see him back in action here. Didn't get a very good qualifying effort, but there you see him. He's rocking and rolling, running in the 10th position. Harold Burden and Cameron Norton running in 11th and 10th just behind him. See if we can check in on your race leaders here.
Yeah, Plastic got a hefty lead in the second. You know, he makes a mistake and might not be able to walk away with it, but that's what it seems like right now.
He got the most short track wins of all drivers last year in the 2020 NASCAR Platinum Cup Series season, and he's picking up where he left off there, that's for sure. You're right, he's having a great race here. He's coming up on a couple of cars to put them a lap down, so that'll provide an extra challenge for, and he's going to just barely get around a car that spun over there that looked like it was Timmy Brown in the 8 car that was exiting turn 4. He was able to get around him. No harm, no foul done there, but yeah, Timmy goes a lap down. This is what the battle for second looks like, Jesse, and it's Jordan Dorsek in the 08 car, black and lime green Chevy, and he's being hounded now by Jordan Dorsek in the 74, black and red Chevy. Josh Colm-Diaz in the 7 has slipped to the 4th position in the white and red car. And rounding out the top 5 just behind them is Clashin in the 07 car. Chevy's own all 5 top 5 spots right now, and they're looking strong here early in the going. Let's see if we can find the car that was involved in that incident just a moment ago. And it was Timmy Brown in the 8 there. You see him. As of now, he's the first car 1 lap down, and he's trying to hold on to that spot until the end of stage 1. Again, folks, round 16 of the 2021 NASCAR MotorMaster Series season. 125 laps here at Iowa Speedway. It's the Supersonic 200. And there's Dana McGriff in the 93. Heading into turn 3, Dustin Franklin in the 11 just behind him. Jordan Roughton in the 92. Trey Hollywood in the 44. Sean Lucas in the 9. Three wide now going into 1. Looks like Daniel in the 93 had to lift a lot there through 1 and 2. He holds on to the car, but he lost 2 or 3 spots in the process.
They're slow. They're cautious. Stay in. I don't know.
Nope, that was the end of the stage. Yeah, so Matt Smith in the 10. Good call, Jesse. Matt Smith in the 10 is going to take home the stage 1 win. Running in second was, I believe, Jordan Dorsek in the 74, Jason Doro in the 08 in third, Josh Colm-Diaz in the 7 and 4th, Clashin in the 07, rounding out the top 5, and those drivers will receive the stage points. Matt Smith, of course, will receive the playoff point. There you see him. And these drivers now will hit pit road for the first time in this race. More than likely, everybody's going to take forward tires and fuel. Adjustments will be made to these race cars. Presets, of course, for these NASCAR MotorMaster Series races, so these drivers are always anxious to make adjustments once they get the chance to hit pit road. Well, double file. 22 drivers entered this race, 21 of them left on the track, and green flag is in the air. Stage 2 underway. Matt Smith in the 10, coming off a 13th place finish in the Winter Heat Series race, the New Year's Resolution 70 at the Indy Road Course. 2 spots in front of me. I was able to pick up 15th. He leads the way here at Iowa Speedway. Jason Doro in the 08, Jordan Dorsek in the 74, Josh Colm-Diaz in the 7, 3 wide down the front stretch for second. To the bottom goes Josh in the 7, looking for the spot. And look at the many different lines being used here at Iowa Speedway. 3 wide going into turn 3. Jason Doro trying the crossover move, and because of that, I think they're going to stay 3 wide, and they are. Oh, no, they're not. Jordan Dorosek of the 74 got out of turn 4 really strong. And deeper in the field, Alex Tesdall in the 16 bounced off the wall just a little bit. And contact still with a couple of cars. He's just trying to get back into the rhythm and get back in the pack here. And wow, this is wild racing. Daniel McGriff in the 93 had to hold on to it. He had a handful of steering wheel there in 3 and 4. He did a good job, and everybody's starting to get a little bit spread out here. We've seen no cautions yet for on-track incidents, and so far we've been lean, mean, clean, and green. Yeah, what are you seeing out there, Jesse?
I saw 44 get put in the wall, and I saw it bounced up onto the wall and got right side down. I just think it'll be fine to get up the cover.
How about Jordan Dorosek? Finished 28th in the qualify round for the Indy Roval for the Winter Heat Series. Just barely missed out on being a part of that race. He's fast everywhere he goes. He's made Winter Heat Series starts Dover and Homestead, and he's doing a great job here at Iowa Speedway. 3 wins in the NASCAR MotorMaster Series so far here in the 2021 season on NASCAR Heat 5, and this is round 16. He's trying his hardest to chase down Matt Smith just in front of him, the 2020 NASCAR Platinum Cup Series champ. There you see him. He qualified on pole. And Jordan Dorosek started at the tail of the field, so 2 completely different stories coming into this race, and 2 completely different missions and game plans that they needed to execute, and both drivers have done a great job. Here they are at the front, 1-2.
Had a great cover for the top 5 spot, man.
Yes, sir. Landshark in the 36, Jason Doro in the 08, 2x2. Now going into turn 3, and they've got a couple of cars right behind them, so if any of these drivers make a bit of a slip or don't take the line that they want to, they might be in trouble. There's a couple of cars right behind them that might be able to pounce, get to the inside of them. Looks like Jason's going to hold on to the 4th position for now, and Landshark's going to hold on to 5th. It's Jordan Roughton in the 92 car running in 6th. There you see him. He's having a great run. He knows the top 5 are the ones that get the stage points. He'd love to get his car up there for that. Clashin in the 07 car just made a nice pass to the inside of Dustin Franklin just behind him. That was for 7th. There you see Clashin. He was up there in the top 5 earlier in this race in stage 1. Slowly but surely working his way back forward. It was a wild start to stage 2. These restarts are going to be pretty exciting, and everyone knows that the restart for the final stage is going to be crucial, especially if we keep seeing the race stay green the way it has been all race long.
9 and the 44 got together in turn 1.
You're right. I saw just a little bit of that, and Harold Burton in the 39 and Sean Lucas in the 9 and Trey Hollywood in the 44. They all made contact a little bit. Everybody held on to it. And it's interesting, Jesse, because they know that stage 2 is the time where they need to pick up as much track position as they can. They want to be positioned for the final stage as good as they possibly can be, as close to the front as they can get. And they're doing everything they can here. So many different grooves you can use. Oh, Alex Tesdall. Yeah, you saw that too, huh? Oh, and we got a car stopped to the bottom of the racetrack. It's Timmy Brown in the 8, and he's going to go a lap down to the field here. I didn't see what happened to him, and Alex Tesdall found the outside wall there. I believe that it's because a few cars had to check out because of Timmy Brown. And we have a battle for position here between Landshark in the 36, Jason Doro in the 08, and that's a battle for, I believe it's for the 4th position. It is. Landshark slowly but surely working his way forward. Clashin just made a pass for the 6th position on Jordan Roughton in the 92 there, so Clashin coming to the front as well. There you see them, a little bit of contact made there. Looked like Jordan Roughton pushed him through the entrance of turn 1. Clashin still had the better run coming out of that corner and was able to diamond the entrance to this corner a little bit better, and he takes the spot. Now that battle right there, that allowed Dustin Franklin in the 11 to close in, and he's right behind these two. Good battles all over this racetrack. That was Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in the 61. He used the bumper a little bit there with Cameron Norton in the 1 car, and that's Sean Lucas in the 9 just in front of them. And this is for the 9th, 10th, and 11th positions here. Cameron Norton goes a little bit high, and now here comes the 9. Sean Lucas subbing for Chris Ryan. And contact was made there. Sean goes to the inside. Jeffrey Robinson Jr. looking to follow him through. Bradley Gilliland just behind them in the 12th position. Trey Hollywood in 13th. Daniel McGriff in 14th. Alex Tesdall in 15th. 22 drivers started the race, 21 of them out there on the racetrack. Jesse, what do you think of the race so far?
I think it's gone by great. I'm surprised they haven't crashed yet. And hope to see better racing.
Honestly, I'm surprised too. Well, I guess I'm not, because these drivers are very talented and they know they're very used to racing in these big packs, in these big races. Big groups on the track, even if it's a small one. So, but then again, you're right. We've seen action-packed races like that before, where we've seen a rash of cautions, or 1 or 2 at the very least. But we haven't seen that here tonight so far. Fingers crossed, and it's been great racing so far. 3-4 wide action, a couple of different leaders, and actually, excuse me, no, check that. Matt Smith has led every lap since the drop of the green flag, so the pole sitter is putting on a great display of racing here. He put Timmy Brown in the 8-car lap down there. He's got Ryan Trek in the 19 just in front of him, but I do believe that they're in the final laps of stage 2. You notice, folks, they haven't made any pit stops under green flag conditions yet. Well, they're expected to for the final stage. They'll definitely need to hit pit road before the end of the final stage. That's if it goes green the entire way. Jordan Dorosek doing everything he can to reel in the race leader, Matt Smith. Josh Cole-Diaz is the driver running in 3rd. There you see him. And running in 4th, right behind him, Jason Doro in the 08 car. It's a side-by-side battle for the 5th position. Landshark in the 36 trying to hold off. Jordan Roughton in the 92. Clashin in the 07 right there as well. This is 5th, 6th, and 7th. Actually, folks, that's Dustin Franklin in the 11 car. 2 very similar paint jobs out there tonight, and they've both been running right on top of each other, it seems like, since the drop of the green flag. Dustin in the 11 and Landshark in the 36. So it's Dustin trying to take the 5th position away from the 92 machine of Jordan Roughton. That would be for the 5th and final spot to receive stage points. And you can hear the fans cheering. The grandstands there of turn 1. Sorry, I got sidetracked there for a moment. I thought there was going to be contact, and Jordan Roughton, but the Earnhardt crossover move back to the inside of Dustin Franklin. We're watching a good battle here. 4th, 5th, and 6th. There's Landshark in the 36 car, running in the 8th position. Just behind him, Sean Lucas in the 9 car, running in 9th. Cameron Norton in the 1, rounding out the top 10. Give you a bit of an update on where some of the other drivers are running. Going to keep our eye on this 3-car battle for the 5th position. Contact was made there. Looked like Clashin got his left sides down on the apron just a little bit. His car was nearly out of shape on him. Minor contact made. No serious damage to either of those cars, and they're going to continue on and soldier on here in the Supersonic 200 at Iowa Speedway, crossing the stripe once again. It's been a great race for Jordan Roughton in the 92. Slowly but surely working his way towards the front.
I think stage 2 is over.
I think you're on to something, Jesse. Matt Smith wins stage 2. Ryan Schreck in the 19 will be the first car lap down. Jordan Dorsek finishes second in stage 2. Josh Colm-Diaz in the 7 and 3rd. Jason Doro in 4th. And it was a dogfight for 5th. And we were watching it the entire way. And I'm pretty sure it was Jordan Roughton in the 92 picking up that 5th position.
Yeah, I've been seeing great battles all around the track.
What's your prediction here for the final stage? Matt Smith has led every lap since the drop of the green flag, but he's got Jordan Dorsek and a couple of really fast drivers right behind him.
I don't know. I think J-Wow might be able to catch up, and who knows, and yeah, we'll see what happens. I think others got a fighting chance too.
20 cars now left on the track. 22 started, and the green flag is back in the air. Matt Smith, Jordan Dorsek lead him into turn 1. Matt clears them, or does he? Jason Doro in the 08 trying to mix it up with these guys. Josh Colm-Diaz running in 4th, but he's getting muscled up against the wall by Jordan Roughton in the 92. And now into 1 again.
They're 4 wide.
Yes, they are. They held on to it. I'm impressed. I don't think they wanted to be 4 wide.
Oh, not at all.
Jordan Dorsek looking to the inside on Matt Smith. Didn't quite have the run to do it. He's going to tuck back in line. Matt Smith still leads the field. Jordan in 2nd. Jason Doro in 3rd. Jordan Roughton in the 92 all the way up into 4th. Keep your eye on him.
Yeah, Lion Shark took a huge pass on the inside and bumped the car on the inside. I don't know what that was for.
Clashin takes the 5th position. Josh Colm-Diaz in 6th. Dustin Franklin in 7th. Cameron Norton in 8th. Sean Lucas in 9th. Landshark rounding out the top 10, and they're all chasing Jordan Dorsek now, folks. He has taken the race lead from Matt Smith.
Wolves only gets to run down the track and then finish line.
There's action all over this racetrack, folks, and it's been hard to follow all of it, really, when you have 22 Xfinity cars, these MotorMaster Series drivers out there slugging it out on a short track like this, 125 laps. It's almost impossible to keep up with all the action. There's so much of it, so many different grooves you can use at this racetrack. We've seen 2, 3, 4 wide action, but somehow, amazingly, we've seen no on-track incidents that have brought out a caution. We've seen a couple of cars get out of shape here and there, and really nothing serious. And now a challenge for the lead again. Matt Smith to the bottom, trying to retake the lead from Jordan Dorsek, and this is allowing Jason Doro in the 08 to maybe follow him through for 2nd.
Yeah, I just found out from someone at Landshark had an engine problem with his tire, and he's down pit road and done for the race.
Yeah, we're getting a report that Landshark is having issues with something at at home, and unfortunately he's not going to be able to finish this race, and that's really all I can comment on it, and that's unfortunate, man. He's done for the day. He was up there running in the 10th position, rather, when he had to pull off the racetrack and park the number 36 Chevy for the night, and he was running strong. He had worked his way up into 5th at one point. Right now, they're all chasing Matt Smith in the 10. Jason Doro in the 08 runs in 2nd. Jordan Dorosek in the 74 runs in 3rd. Don't look now, folks. But Josh Colton-Diaz in the 7 has worked his way back to 4th. He was 3rd at the end of Stage 2, and he's been in the top 5 all race long. He kind of got bumped by the driver right behind him, Jordan Roughton in the 92, at the start of this final stage. And now he's got a little bit of ground to make up if he's going to run down the top 3 and challenge for the win. Great run by Jordan Roughton, nevertheless, running in the 5th position. Behind him is Dustin Franklin running in 6th. Cameron Norton scored in 7th, just behind him in the 1 car. This may be the highest in the race he's been running all race long. Sean Lucas in the 9. Scored in the 8th position, just behind him. Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in the 61, running in 10th. And Jason Armstrong in the 12 has worked his way up into the 10th position. Harold Burden in 11th. Alex Tesdall in 12th. Trey Hollywood in 13th. Bradley Gilliland running in 14th. In the 15th position is Clashin in the 07 car. Oh, never mind, actually, folks. Clashin is off the racetrack. It's actually Dustin McClintock running in the 15th position now. And I didn't see what happened to Clashin, but evidently he's done for the day. And a change for the 2nd position. This is what Josh Colton-Diaz in the 7 needs. He needs these drivers to battle a little bit and get preoccupied with each other, and he might be able to run them down a 10th or 2 at a time per lap, and maybe get up there and challenge these top 3 drivers. The draft is a little bit of a factor here, although it is a short track. There is something to it. It is there a little bit. What battle are you watching, Jesse?
Well, while you were talking about second place, saw Flash get the lead. Haven't really seen much action around the track. Taking it easy, basically single file and all of that. Not feeling anything interesting just yet.
Oh, I'm seeing a lot of interesting things. There's battles all over this racetrack. They're 2x2 going through 1 and 2 there. Harold Burden and Jason Armstrong, and now Sean Lucas in the 9, Alex Tesdall in the 16.
Yeah, I got a good question in that top 10.
Yeah, Jeffrey Robinson Jr., 61 card just in front of them. And this is a battle in and around the top 10. Some of these drivers just barely in the top 10, some of them just barely out. And we know that they're all going to have to come down pit road for a scheduled green flag pit stop here, and that's if it stays green. Of course, these drivers would like to avoid making any pit stops under green flag conditions if they can help it. If you short pit, you run the risk of going 1 lap down, maybe even 2, if a caution were to come out. And this is what the battle for the lead looks like. It was a 3-horse stance, a 3-horse race, but it's kind of dropped down to 2 here. Matt Smith, Jordan Dorosek, the 10 and the 74 having a battle here for the win. Jason Doro in the 08 car running in 3rd has lost these 2 just a little bit. Josh Colton-Diaz in the 7 still scored in 4th and losing the top 2 just a little bit, but he is gaining a little bit on the 08 machine of Jason Doro. And there's battles all over the racetrack. Dave Marks Jr. in the 51 there has caught up to these guys. Looked like Trey Hollywood in the 44 got a little bit loose coming out of 2, and he had to lift to hold on to the car. He had to let, I think, 3-4 cars go by him there. Sometimes better to save the car and lose a few spots than it is to wreck the car and lose 10. Pardon me. There's Dustin Franklin in the 11. He has moved into the 5th position. Jordan Roughton in the 92 right there with him, running in 6th. And this is the highest that Dustin Franklin in the 11 has been running all race long, and he's got himself positioned pretty well to maybe get up there and win this race. It's going to take a little bit of luck and a good execution getting on and off pit road for these green flag pit stops that we're expected to see at some point here in the final stage. It's Harold Burden in the 39 car that has worked his way all the way up into the 7th position.
Got a lap update. They're on, I think they're about to get the lap 86 here.
All right, thank you very much. So that would leave us with 40 laps to go. 40 to go here in the Supersonic 200 at Iowa Speedway. We're watching the battle right now for 7th and 8th. Harold Burden, Cameron Norton, it's Jason Armstrong, excuse me, it's Jeffrey Robinson Jr. just behind them. In the 9th position. Harold started near the back, and he's been slowly working his way forward. I believe he started in the 18th position. And when you enter a 22-car race at Iowa Speedway, 3 sets with an 18th place starting spot, you're not necessarily going to always get the finish that you're hoping for. But here he is up there, running in the 7th position, having a good run. Battle for the lead is on again. Jordan Dorsek has not given up. They both just went around Ryan Trek to put him a lap down, and new race leader put the 74 back out front. Jordan Dorsek comes into this event 3rd in the point standings, excuse me, 4th in the point standings rather, with 3 wins. And the 2nd most playoff points. Driver behind him, Matt Smith, the 2020 NASCAR Platinum Cup Series champion, comes in as the points leader with 2 wins this season. And these drivers arguably the 2 favorites to win the championship this year, maybe along with Jason Doro and Josh Colm-Diaz, Jesse Carlson, Kevin Tattersall, Alex Tesdall, and others. And showing their stuff, showing off their skill here at Iowa Speedway. They've run away from the field just a little bit. There's Jason Doro running in 3rd. Josh Colm-Diaz running in 4th. And Dustin Franklin still running in 5th. The closest battle towards the front is actually the battle for the lead. The driver who's led the most laps in this one is the pole sitter, the points leader, Matt Smith, and he's right behind Jordan Dorsek, trying to stay with him. He knows that they have to come to pit road at some point in this race, and as long as he can keep him within striking distance, he doesn't necessarily need to be in front of him. Just needs to have him close enough to have a shot. I can tell you Jordan Roughton in the 6th position has kind of lost touch a little bit with Dustin Franklin, who is running in 5th. There you see the gap has grown a little bit between those 2 drivers. And then back to Harold Burden, running in 7th. Comfortable gap over Cameron Norton in the 1, who's running in 8th just behind him. Sean Lucas in the 9, running in 9th. And the battle for 10th was on, actually, just behind them. It looked like they were nearly side by side. It's Jeffrey Robinson Jr. and Jason Armstrong. There you see that battle for 10th and 11th. And the green flag cycle of pit stops are beginning. Cameron Norton in the 1 comes to pit road. He's going to surrender a top 10 spot. Jason Armstrong in the 12 came as well, and here's the gamble with this, folks. If they come down pit road and a caution comes out, they're going to be paying for it. They're going to go a lap down, maybe even 2 laps down. So we'll have to see exactly when everybody else comes to pit road. Oh, and the top 2 are coming to pit road at the same time, and it looked like it was a bit of a close call between them. Jason Doro in the 08 is coming as well. Josh Colm-Diaz is coming as well. Looked like Dustin Franklin gained a lot of time on Josh coming to pit road there, so maybe Dustin Franklin will have fourth at the end of the cycle of pit stops. We'll have to see about that. Trey Hollywood had just went a lap down right when the leaders came to pit road. He came with them just behind them, and pit road's a busy place, Jesse.
Yeah, I think a lot of cars coming into the pit stalls to get their service done.
John Lucas in the 9 leaving. We're watching the top 3 parked in their pit stall, and now they're leaving. At least Jordan Dorsek and Matt Smith are. Looks like Jordan's going to have the edge. He's going to have the lead. He'll be right in front of Matt Smith, but keep in mind, folks, Matt Smith is going to be glued to that bumper of the 74 machine. The draft is just enough, powerful enough to keep a car right there with the car in front of them, as long as they are a similar speed. And Matt Smith certainly has shown all throughout the race that he's been the car to beat. Does Jordan Dorsek have enough? They're 1 and 2. At least they will be when this all cycles through. Harold Burton in the 39 on pit road for service. Dave Marks Jr. in the 51 as well. So a couple more cars getting pit stops done. And once this all cycles through, it'll be Jordan Dorsek in the lead. There's Dustin McClintock in the 0. Former NASCAR Milner Cup Series race winner back on NASCAR 15. And the last car leaving pit road is Dave Marks Jr. in the 51. And it's Daniel McGriff on pit road in the 93. He stayed out to lead a lap. And we have cycled through, folks. Jesse, I'm a little bit shocked. You pointed it out. We've been green since the drop of the green flag, except for the cautions that we saw for the end of stage 1 and the end of stage 2. These drivers have done a tremendous job during this race. We've seen 2 wide, 3 wide, 4 wide. 22 cars started this race, and somehow we've just not seen any major incidents. And here we have a good battle for the lead and for the win between 2 of the very best on the game to ever play. NASCAR Heat 5, and that is Jordan Dorsek in the 74, Matt Smith in the 10. They go into turn 3 and 4 now. They're going to try to go to the inside of Alex Tesdall in the 16 to put him a lap down. The next car in line to put a lap down will be Jeffrey Robinson Jr. in the 61. And those 2 drivers are both very talented, very fast drivers. And the fact that they're going a lap down here speaks volumes right now for how fast these 2 drivers are going at Iowa Speedway. Also, keep in mind, Alex Tesdall, Jeffrey Robinson Jr. have been the victim of a couple of on-track incidents and minor contact here and there. So definitely not getting the finishes they deserve, but it's showing also the speed and the grit that Jordan Dorsek and Matt Smith have brought to Iowa Speedway here tonight, and also showing that they've made very few mistakes. Not a mark on those 2 cars.
Yeah, they're coming a lot more than where they got 12 to go.
Oh, it's
a lap in there 12.
No, it's 21 to go because it's a 125 lap race.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sorry for that.
And here was the battle that I was talking about during the cycle of pit stops. Remember when I said Dustin Franklin in the 11 closed up a lot on Josh Colm-Diaz while they entered pit road? This is now what the battle for 4th and 5th looks like. Josh trying to hold on to it. Dustin trying to take it. Jordan Routon in the 92 has fallen back to the 6th position. I guess that's actually where he was running before the cycle of pit stops, but he's kind of lost touch to the drivers running 5th and 6th. Still Harold Burton running in the 7th position with Cameron Norton. There you see Cameron in the 1 car running in 8th. Jason Armstrong in the 12 that is up to the 9th position. Sean Lucas rounding out the top 10, under 20 laps to go here at Iowa Speedway, round 16 of the 2021 NASCAR MotorMaster Series season, hosted right here on NASCAR Heat 5. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Love coming to this racetrack. It's always an exciting one. And we're going to start to focus more on the leaders a little bit more as we wind down the final laps of the Supersonic 200 here at Iowa Speedway. There you see Matt Smith trying his absolute best to run down Jordan Dorosek in the 74, and he's a couple of car lengths behind. They're dealing with cars just in front of them, just behind them, some lap traffic here and there. It's not going to be an easy final 18 laps here for these two drivers, but they're rocking and rolling here. Slightly different lines through 1 and 2. You can see Jordan entered a little bit higher, Matt Smith entered a little bit lower, and they exit differently as well. Just in front of them is actually the battle for 9th and 10th. It's Sean Lucas in the 9, Jason Armstrong in the 12, and they're going to have to give way here for the leaders at some point. Something is going to have to give, and let's find out who. And Jordan Dorosek goes to the outside, maybe, maybe not. Going to tuck down low now on Jason Armstrong in the 12. Why is this important? Because we could see a change for the lead here. Because of them having to work their way through this traffic, this could change everything. One of these drivers might be able to work their way through the traffic better than the other, and might see a new leader because of it. And so you've got to be really careful there, as you might have seen anyways. Sean Lucas in the 9, he got a little bit loose, and Jordan Dorosek in the 74 took evasive action just a little bit. He ran a little bit lower to stay away from the 9, and he's going to clear him. Matt Smith in the 10 going to take the outside line to try to clear the 9 car of Sean Lucas, and a good thing going for him is he's going to have a draft with the leader just in front of him. Sean lets him go, and now this leaves 8 cars, Jesse, on the lead lap.
It does. Bumper to bumper.
Aren't they ever? The 10 just got right up close to that bumper. Like you said, to the outside goes Matt Smith in 3 and 4 for the lead. He almost had enough to pull alongside him. Now he's got a big run coming out of 4. He goes to the inside heading into 1.
He gets on his inside.
Yes, sir. Going into 3. Matt Smith working on clearing him. He's going to do just that. Jordan Dorosek was trying to use the Earnhardt crossover move for the front stretch, and he's going to do it. He's going to be back to the inside of the 10 car now, going into 1. Oh, yep, he is. But Matt Smith drove it in way deeper than he has the last couple of laps. Used the outside line to his advantage, and somehow, some way, he was able to hold on to the lead. He stays in front of the 74. 15 to go, 14 to go. Something like that.
Here in a bit.
Yeah, no worry. Don't even worry about it. Cameron Norton in the 1 goes way up high. He's in the 8th position. He's going to give way to the top 2. He knows what's at stake for these two drivers. Cameron, of course, a former NASCAR Platinum Cup Series race winner. Cameron also comes into this race 12th in the point standings, which is above the playoff cut line, so he doesn't want to jeopardize himself either. He wants to give plenty of room for these top 2 to battle, and there's only about a car length in between them going down the back straightaway. Jordan's right there. He's close enough, and they both pit on the same lap. They both have the same grip when it comes to these tires, and both have very similar driver's talent, driver's skill as well, which is an insane amount. And now they're coming out of turn 2. Jordan looking to get as much of an advantage and as much of a momentum and big enough run to get alongside Matt, and he couldn't quite do it. They're closing in on Harold Burton in the 39 car. He's the next to go, a lap down. He's scored in 7th, just in front of him by, I'd say, about 4 or 5 car lengths, is Jordan Roughton in the 92. He's running in 6th, and they're both in danger of going a lap down. It's been a long green flag run since the start of the final stage. Tell you one thing, I've been having a great time watching this. Sitting here having a can of Pepsi, watching 22 of my racing family buddies going at it out there at Iowa Speedway. I love this racetrack. I knew it was going to be like this. You can use so many different grooves here. We saw 2, 3, and 4 wide action in every single Iowa Speedway event that NASCAR has held, no matter what series or what car or trucks, and I expected no less from these 22 NASCAR MotorMaster Series drivers tonight. They're putting on a good show. Now back to the inside goes Jordan Dorosek. The battle for the lead is on. Yeah, you're right, he held on to it. See, I think that Jordan decided to make the move then because he was going to try to use the lap machine of Harold Burden as a pick, but he couldn't quite keep his car there to the inside of Matt Smith long enough to utilize that lap car. Back in behind him he goes, down the back straightaway, still right there. And there's times on these straightaways you could barely fit a toaster between those two cars. He's right there, he's definitely close enough to make a run. And they work their way around Jordan Roughton in the 92, and respectful move by both of those drivers, Jordan Roughton and Harold Burden, two longtime NASCAR drivers, to let Matt Smith and Jordan Dorosek both go by. They're running in 6th and 7th, and they're both having a good day. They don't want to jeopardize themselves, and you definitely don't want to jeopardize the drivers running 1-2 either. This leaves the top 5 drivers on the lead lap. Matt Smith, Jordan Dorosek, Jason Doro, Josh Colin-Diaz, and Dustin Franklin. Sorry, it took me a moment there. And they're coming up on Dave Marks Jr. in the 51. That would be to put him a second lap down. They are going to get to him before the end of this race, but I think that a long-time NASCAR driver like Dave will do the same thing that the others have been doing. He'll just go to the high side and let these two go. Jordan Dorosek knows that he's running out of time here if he's going to make a move on Matt Smith. And he's run out of time, folks. The checkered flag is in the air. Matt Smith wins the Supersonic 200 here at Iowa Speedway. Third win of the 2021 NASCAR MotorMaster Series season, and extends that points lead. Jordan Dorosek finishes in the 2nd position. And how about Jason Doro finishing in 3rd, Josh Colin-Diaz in 4th, and in the 5th position is Dustin Franklin. Good run by all of these drivers. Jordan Roughton in 6th, Harold Burden finishes in 7th, Cameron Norton brought it home 8th. I believe it was Sean Lucas holding on to 9th, and the rest of the running order we will check for you, and it will be on the website. Stick around for the post-race interviews here from MotorMaster Monday. We'll hear from your top 3 finishers. Jesse, if you're friends with Flash 9, JWoww, and Mucka, feel free to invite them to this party chat. If not, I can do it.
Gotcha.
Are you friends with all 3 of them?
I'm friends with Flash and...
No problem, I'll do it all.
Alright.
Fastest lap of the race, I always like checking that out, goes to, and it went to the race winner, Matt Smith in the 10. Great job by all 22 of these drivers, and at the end of it, I believe that there was 19 cars, or 18 cars rather, that finished at the checkered flag. And congratulations to Matt Smith in the 10. We're going to hear from him. We're going to hear from Jason Doro and Jordan Dorosek as well. Coming up here, MotorMaster Monday. And welcome to the post-race interviews for the Supersonic 200 at Iowa Speedway. It was a wild 22-car race, 125 laps, and believe it or not, folks, we went lean, mean, clean, and green. Since the drop of the green flag, minus the 2 cautions for the ends of Stage 1 and Stage 2, and when it was all said and done, the top 3 are as is, folks. Joining me now, the driver who finished in the 3rd position, driver of the '08 Chevy Camaro, Jason Doro. Thanks a bunch for joining us, and congratulations on your 3rd place finish. You were strong all race long. You qualified well. You ran top 5 all race long as well. We knew track position was going to be important, and we knew the restarts were going to be wild as well. Sum up your race for us and tell us how you were able to keep your car up there in the top 5 all race long and finish there as well.
Thanks, Timac. You just gotta have patience, like I always say. Try to get ahead of the pack, so you don't have to race guys side by side, because that slows you down quite a bit. And just try to find some clean air, find some fast guys like Flash 9 and JWoww, and work together and get away from the pack, and then race for it at the end. But congrats to Flash 9 and JWoww. Super fast. I didn't have anything for him today, but points.
I was going to say, I beg to differ, my friend. I was just about to say, it seemed to be a 3-horse race there towards the end of the final stage for the win, and you were right there with them in their draft, battling for the lead with the 74 and the 10, but I turned away to go through the field a little bit, came back up, and you were 6-7 car lengths back. What ended up happening to you? I know you were just as fast as they were.
I had the 74 on my rear, and I was following the 10, and I started paying attention to my tire wear, and then I knew I had to go so many laps, and I didn't want to blow a tire, so I figured I'd let the 74 run with him, and I hit the apron a couple times, slowed me down, and just could never get back to him.
I see. Better to play it smart and get a top 3 finish sometimes to run it too hard and finish outside the top 15. So good job out there, good work, and congrats on getting a 3rd place finish. You came in 2nd in the point standings, and you leave 2nd in the point standings still.
All right, thanks, Ty. Congrats, Flash, JWoww. Great job.
And that was Jason Doro, Mucka, of course, as most of you know, from the Front Row Racing League, a well-respected and well-known league over there, and finishing 3rd here in the Supersonic 200 on Iowa Speedway. Moving forward, we have Jordan Dorsek, the driver of the number 74 Chevy Camaro. 3 wins this season, came into this race 4th in the point standings, and you almost added another win to the resume here at Iowa Speedway. You were battling hard there with Matt Smith in the final laps. You led some laps in this race, and similar story to Jason Doro in the '08. You had track position all race long. How were you able to keep your car up there and keep it competitive, and what did you do to prepare for this race?
To the start of the race, we had connection issues, so we didn't get to qualify. We started 23rd, raced our way all the way back up to 2nd place at the end of the stage, which I wasn't paying attention to what Flash 9 was doing while he was in the lead, or how my time was comparing to his. I was more just trying to manage my way through the field as I got through that stage, and then 2nd stage was more of a evaluation to see what kind of car he had and what kind of car I had and what adjustments I should make for stage 3. For stage 3, we had a good 3-car battle, and once I saw Mucka, he slipped up a little bit, and I took the opportunity to get under him and make the pass, and it just seemed like me and Flash just took off. Whenever it was about 5 to go on the first run, I made a move, got under Flash 9, made the pass for the lead, and you can see me and him were gingerly trying to make our way to pits, because we this is kind of a tricky place to find a place to get in the pits and not speed and get the black flag. So I came out ahead of him, and my car was fast from the get-go, but it seemed like we had a couple slip-ups at the end, especially the last 2 laps. We had a good car following behind him, but leading the car, it just didn't feel like the perfect car that we needed all night long. But we had a little higher approach. We kind of take it easy coming into the corner and just push hard out the corner. We always had the run coming out the corner. It's just I wish we would have had a better battle at the end for the last 2 laps. I would have gave him something.
What was going through your mind when you came out of pit road just in front of him? We saw you both enter, and yeah, you're right, it was very close there. It almost looked like contact was made, not sure if there was, and then you came out just in front of them. Did that boost your confidence at all? Did you think maybe you had this one?
Yes, I actually did. I thought since the end of the run, coming out of the first run, I had took the lead from him, and his car kind of fell off a little bit. But I think he made the right adjustments to get his car better on the last run in the last stage. And I didn't touch my car at all. I felt like it was good enough because in stage 2 he just took off. He was 3 seconds ahead of us, and once I made my adjustments for the start of stage 3, I felt like those, especially if I kept up with him. Since stage 2 he took off, in stage 3 we were keeping up with him. I think those were the adjustments I needed, and I felt like if I would have made something, I could have had just a little more speed that could have been fine for that finish.
As a driver, I don't blame you either, though, because if it's feeling good and everything's going right, and if you're right there with the driver that's led the most laps, you almost might not want to touch it, because what if you go the wrong way, you know what I mean? Why touch something if it feels right? So I completely understand where you're coming from, but congratulations on your second place finish. You almost had it out there, brother.
All right, thank you. Congrats, Flash.
And that was Jordan Dorsek, driver of the number 74 Chevy Camaro, 3 wins here in the NASCAR MotorMaster Series. Almost made it another and came close. He'll have another shot here tonight for Motormaster Monday, coming up shortly at Charlotte Motor Speedway. On to the man of the hour, folks. Matt Smith, driver of the number 10 Chevy Camaro, came in as the points leader. He'll leave as the points leader, and he just captured his 3rd win of the 2020 NASCAR MotorMaster Series season. You did a great job out there, buddy. You qualified on the pole. You won both stages. You led the most laps. In fact, no other driver had led a lap up until the final stage when Jordan Dorsek of the 74 had taken it from you. Did you expect this kind of dominance here tonight at Iowa Speedway? Was it surprising you as the race was going along, or what did you do to prepare for this race?
I mean, short tracks has really come to be one of my stronger points on this game. To say that I thought I was going to lead all those laps, I would be lying to you. I am rarely on the pole, so that was also a shocker, but I knew I needed to do my best to try to get some track position, because you go to a short track, I really didn't know if the cautions were on, so I didn't want to get hurt by any contact or anything. So that was the biggest thing. And then I really love Iowa. It's just one of those rhythm racetracks where you don't have to be blistering fast. You just need to have a solid line and not mess up, and you'll be fast. And that was really the goal for the whole race.
It was a max points race for you. You won both stages, you won the race, and that's a total of 5 playoff points added to your total, and you now have the most playoff points of any driver here in the 2021 MotorMaster Series season. How does that make you feel as a driver, and what do you think of your chances in the race later tonight at Charlotte?
I mean, playoff points are huge. With as many winners as we've had so far this season, anyone could win at any time. If caution comes out less than 5 to go, someone who is, half a track back running 3rd or 4th, could win the race. So, we've had some ups and downs throughout the season, but we've been able to, keep it, at least in the top 5 almost every race this year. So, just being steady, trying to take advantage of the wins when we have a shot to get them. Charlotte will be tougher with the drafts, so it's a very line-sensitive track, but it'll still be very competitive. But we'll just try to get ourselves in good position and try to, battle it out again. It was an epic race with Jordan there. I was a little nervous, the whole 3rd stage. We had a great battle. It was very clean. We never touched once the whole time. I was trying not to mess up in the lead, but I knew, if he hit me, there wasn't anything I could do about it. I was just focused on my line, and and him and I, we both wanted a clean finish, I'm sure, and the more it played out, I was just trying to hold him off and get through the lap traffic, and luckily my car was the loose kind of fast at the end, and I could really get into and through the center of the corners like I needed to.
Well, you did a terrific job, man. Third win of the 2021 NASCAR MotorMaster Series season for you, and congratulations. We'll let you go celebrate with your team a little bit more in Victory Lane before you got to head out onto the track at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Well, congrats, buddy.
All right, thank you, man.
That was Matt Smith, folks. Flash 9, one of the very best to ever play NASCAR Heat 5 and the NASCAR Heat games, and finished 13th in the Winter Heat Series Indy Roval event just a couple of nights ago. Excuse me, what day is it? No, just yesterday, actually. And, yeah, it was terrific seeing him capture the win here at Iowa Speedway. Round 16 is in the history books, folks. Up next, we have Charlotte Motor Speedway on this MotorMaster Monday. Been doing MotorMaster Monday for a long time, folks. 4th annual NASCAR MotorMaster Series season. Always been on the Mondays, and happy to bring you the live flag-to-flag coverage here on NASCAR Heat 5. Once again, congratulations to Matt Smith. Once again, congratulations to Bruv Motorsports. And we will see you at Charlotte. Good night, everybody. Stay fast, folks.